What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Swagcast. Today we have a 2K Savage, a streamer and a growing content creator, a man I respect very much because of his open discussion on mental health. What's going on, Chase? How we doing?
Yo, what's good, Swag man? I'm doing well. Thank you for having me on. It's
Of
just a
course,
blessing to be here.
I'm happy to have you here, brother. So I want to get right into this and start the combo talking about some good old 2K, which you've been fucking cooking on lately. Take me from your very first 2K, which I assume was 2K11, because I feel like that was everybody's first 2K for some reason, as well as myself. How'd that turn into making content and becoming so nice at the game? Because I've been playing the game since 2K11 and I'm still garbage. So kind of take me through the entire process of when you got into 2K and decided you wanted to continue playing and even content.
So, 2K11, I would say was like my first game that I actually took it like seriously.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm 26, so I would say my actual first like 2K that I actually had my hands on actually would have been like 2K5, like as a little kid. So I've been playing this and enjoying, this franchise for a long time. 2K11 was the year where they added like the combine and the my player where you could like make your own my player, and that attracted a lot of people, and that's kind of where people started to take the game a little bit more serious, and you started to get the more competitive side of the game. um so 2K11 is kind of where it started for me, like you predicted. And I always, as a kid, I always looked up to these YouTubers like Dcoop, like Chris Smooth. I just thought it was really cool how you could like play a game but paint kind of like a picture and a journey through these series, and also tell your own story. And I always wanted to do that myself. So I actually like tried to make content when I was in like middle school and stuff, whether it would be like 2K with like just a little camera, like you have a tripod, like one of those old cameras, and you have a tripod sitting there and you're like filming it and it's not even like capture the screen, and it's just, so I used to do things like that. But I've been playing forever, like you said. Getting better at the game, man. That comes with reputation or reps, and just watching other people play the game, and really just getting reps in, getting practice in the gym. Just like with anything, like you do with these things, these podcasts. I'm sure you get better as it gets going. Streaming, we get better as we stream each day. We find little nicks and habits we can get better at. So just playing the game, getting reps in. But yeah, I'd say it started in 2K11, and then the train really hasn't stopped rolling. Although they've taken some steps that I don't agree with as far as monetization and things like that, and in-game currency.
Yeah, so
Um,
I'm actually glad you bring that up. Because my next question is gonna be, I hear you say often that like the 2K community and the game in general is kind of like falling apart. What do you think went wrong, and like when do you think it started going wrong?
so on the My Team side of things, there's this like whole My Team game mode, and it's like an ultimate team fantasy game mode, card game mode.
Mm-hmm.
You play, you do agendas, and you get packs for players. It's kind of like bringing Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh to life to the basketball side of things. And a lot of people love this game mode because, well, one, not everyone has the funds to go out there and buy a bunch of cards all the time. So this is like a virtual, you can get your card hobby in, and you get to go play with them. Now, when this game mode was coming up, it was a lot of free content, a lot of grinding. The more you play, the more invested your time, the better you would get rewarded.
Mm-hmm.
And in 2K23, there was this big whole thing, this whole situation that happened where people were illegally buying currency, buying MT from a third party, basically,
Mm-hmm.
to get coins in the game. And they, instead of like warning people and like telling people to stop, we're going to take action, they dropped this entire band hammer on like a whole player base of everyone who had purchased MT like illegally, not through VC. Like if
Mm-hmm.
you had purchased MT through the third party, they banned your account. And like 90% of the comp community, like a whole big portion of like the My Team community got banned. And it all started from there, and there was this like civil war where the community started acting honestly not in good spirits, kind of like children, because they were upset that they got banned. So 2K, I think, didn't take lightly to the way they were being talked to and stuff, because they see all the stuff on Twitter and
Yeah, of
on
course.
social media. So it really started in 2023 with these bans, man. And ever since then, it's like every move they made out of spite, they've taken things out of the game that used to be free grinds and replaced that with like, hey, buy this pack for VC, or
Mm-hmm.
like you can't even enter the game. As soon as you enter the game, a screen pops up to like buy VC and all these other different add-ons, and it's gotten so greedy and it's gotten so lazy. And we know, like, I still appreciate them for making the game, and it looks beautiful and all that, but we know with these next gen consoles and what they can really do, and they're really just focusing on their money. And the thing that sucks is they get their reports back, like their stock reports and all that, and everything says everything's good, because you get these whales out here that don't really care, and they're going to spend their money anyway,
Mm-hmm.
whether the game is going in the right direction or not. And then that's a whole new civil war where people get mad at other people. They're like on strike, and they're like, it's your guys' fault because you're still spending money on the game. When in reality, it's like one person spending money on the game probably isn't going to change anything. Unfortunately, there's so many things in the world, and we're just one small group of it, one small bubble.
Mm-hmm.
So, and ever since, and it's just been bleak since then in terms of content. Like they used to release a lot of weekly challenges, and they would have like moments cards, for example. Like
Mm-hmm.
someone would go drop, say Darius Garland goes and drops 40 points. The next day, you get like a diamond or pink diamond Darius Garland moment card, and
Yeah.
it would stay in line with the real NBA, and they just nothing really like that anymore, and it's becoming a cesspool.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I feel that, and I feel like kind of like it started around like I remember when I used to play my team back in I think 2K16, and exactly like you said, it was like a lot of free packs, very easy to get. And now I've always been a, well, not anymore because fuck EA, but I used to be a big Madden Ultimate Team player. And I would spend paychecks on to get packs. And now EA's always been like that. EA's always been very money hungry, and I feel like 2K saw these other companies like getting a lot of kind of in-game transactions and pay to win, if you would, and they kind of went in that direction. uh do you feel like other companies had a big impact on 2K kind of switching the way they do things? Because people used to love the free packs and the and even on the my player side, like it was easier to grind for VC, and you would get more playing games and stuff like that. But now you get like 100 a game. Like it's really hard to grind VC. Like you have to buy it if you want to be a my player.
Yeah, you have people out here that are spending, $200 easily on like different builds, and it's just crazy now. And to answer your question, yes, definitely looking at EA. And well, the crazy part is 2K kind of took EA's ride and took it to a whole nother level. Because on the EA side of things, like you go to college football, you go to Madden, they have these booster packs. They have packs that are like $5, which that's a little bit more innocent than like 2K to even like get some of these packs. You're spending like $50 or some of these cards, and you don't even have a guaranteed chance at them. It's like
Mm-hmm.
literally gambling, which I like to do sometimes.
Yeah, like everybody's a little bit of a gambling degenerate, right? And
Yeah,
that's like what these card pulls really like give you. They give you like the adrenaline from like gambling. Like if you get a fire pull, like you go crazy, you start freaking out. Uh,
that's not to cut you off. I apologize,
yeah,
but
no,
so I think that's actually a bigger impact on the way is gambling becoming legal. Actually, now that you just said that, because there's ads everywhere, people do it so much. I do it. Like, I'm not saying it's great, or you know what I'm saying, but I think gambling actually had a big influence on the way that they're going to pay to win, almost more than EA or something like that would be. I could
yeah,
definitely see that.
yeah, no, absolutely. And you mentioned that like anytime you load up now, it like the 2K, the first thing you see is the battle pass. They're
Yep,
trying to, which
that's what it
they
is.
don't call it a battle pass, but ultimately it's fucking battle pass.
Yeah.
And that's another example of them just taking things from other companies like Fortnite kind of like enabled the battle pass at first, and their battle pass is $10. Like it's not bad, like not bad at all for a full battle pass. Where you got 2K, you're spending like $20 on the battle pass, and you might get like a good amount of VC, but that's really like what the selling point is. Like you're going through all of the grinding, getting VC, where there's other people that like say fuck battle pass, I'm just gonna drop $200 $300 on VC, and I'm gonna have 4 5 6 builds.
I'm glad you brought the battle pass up because that's actually like a huge like pet peeve of mine in a way because they said in the beginning of the year that it would just be cosmetics and stuff and it wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
affect gameplay. And then season 4 they're dropping a battle pass and they always do a level 40 card like in my team when you get the level 40 the max level you get like this nice card for the season.
Mm-hmm.
This season it was Dwayne Wade. Well, they made the pro pass version of Dwayne Wade. They gave him a better like stats or something or a better signature jumper or something along the lines that they basically made the paid card better. And they said they weren't going to do that. They said it was just going to be cosmetics and like jewelry and clothes and stuff. And season 4 they're already going back on their word and like so you're almost like forcing people to spend that 10 or $20 for the battle pass just to keep up. Um yeah, so it's almost like either a part-time job or you got to pay to win, man. You got
Yeah,
to treat it
no,
like that.
and it's not like the battle pass isn't a grind either. Like you really have to put a lot of time in to level up in that battle pass. There's a lot of like different things that don't give you battle pass points. You really have to be grinding online in certain modes. And like for example, I haven't touched the game since season 1. And I did buy the battle pass because they had a wrestling singlet for my player, and
I remember that.
I needed it. I have it like that. That's what I wear in the park. I needed the singlet. Now another thing I wanted to bring up real quick before we move on. Speaking of like spending VC and my players and builds, uh, we've seen a lot of videos, a lot of different videos of crazy X's or just people that get hacked, and they lose their all their my players get deleted. There was this one guy on Instagram. He's like a medium-ish content creator for 2K, and I can't think of his name, but he had posted that his girlfriend got mad at him, thought he was cheating, deleted his 6 my players, and he was like that's 2 grand down the drain. They were all 99s. That's 2 grand down the drain.
Tough, man. I don't think you can get those back either.
No, you can't. You can't. They're gone. They're gone forever. Once you delete a my player, they're gone forever. Um, so let's move on now. The last couple of streams, you've been going on insane win streaks. Playing my team. Do you think you could be a top player, or do you already consider yourself a top player, or is that what you're going for? Are you trying to get there?
So I've actually, as I've gotten older, I've actually been okay with this and almost tried to. I've actually regressed a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I've learned I used to they consider the like the elite level players or like the comp they consider that the comp part of the community.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely would can float around there and I can still, when I focus and lock in, I can still float in that area and I can
Mm-hmm.
to be the best player, definitely not. You got like guys like Splash and Tide I don't know if you know them. And I honestly they've gotten so many reps in and just I mean I have too, but I can never get to that level.
Splash was
Um
the first person to hit the highest level this year in
yeah,
this one,
he's
right?
different, dude. He's different. He's won the King of the Court like 6 or 7 times,
Yeah, he
which
don't
is like
shower. There's
he's
no way.
different, dude. It's insane. So I mean, but I was at a comp level definitely in 22 and 23 and
Okay.
even 24. And this year was the first year where I was like, I want to make my streams more about the vibes and not stress as much about winning or losing. Now I'm super competitive, so I say that, and sometimes you'll still catch me and I'll rage every now and then.
Mhm.
Um, but I definitely float around that comp term, I guess. Yeah, you could say that. I'm definitely like
Definitely.
above average, but I'm not like the elite of the elite.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you mentioned earlier that like you used to put a camera on the tripod and just kind of like record you playing from the back. how long have you been like kind of making content on and off? I know you've gone through little hiatuses and have taken breaks, but as a whole, take me through like the journey.
Honestly, I mean, it starts all the way back 15 years ago. I used to I had a Yu-Gi-Oh YouTube channel. I'm not gonna lie. I used to, and I don't even remember, like, I had like 300 subscribers on YouTube, and this was back when YouTube was, it was, the layout was more like Facebook or a MySpace, and you could
Okay.
go leave comments on people's channels and stuff, and it was so cool. It was so much better than the layout now, in my opinion. And so I remember doing like a giveaway. I gave away like an Chain Dragon, this like white Yu-Gi-Oh card at like 150 subscribers, and I would
Mhm.
like go to these tournaments as a 10-year-old or 11-year-old, and then I would record like my decks and stuff. So that's really where it started, and then it kind of went on to video games. Actually, I had a big Call of Duty phase. I don't know if you probably did too. Modern Warfare 2 and things like that.
Oh yeah,
And
absolutely.
Modern Warfare 1. I actually I think around that time I got one of those like 720p capture cards maybe
Mm-hmm.
that are just like a little shittier quality. Excuse my language. I don't know if we can
Swear all
cuss on
you want.
here. Okay. Yeah, it was like shittier quality, and then I would make like these little montage clips, and my dad was a drummer, so I would like put his music in the background. I would
Yeah.
put his music on in the background and like do these montages of like Call of Duty. Then it slowly led to like 2K. Now, how far I've been taking it serious on Twitch, it's been about 3 years now, I want to say.
Okay.
2 to 3 years. And like I said, as soon as I started, like my dad did get cancer. So like I kind of it's been like a crazy ride.
Yeah, yeah, we're
Um,
gonna talk about that in a little bit.
okay.
However, so jumping into content real quick, do you consider yourself now a sports game creator? I had no idea about the Yu-Gi-Oh past, which I think is super fucking dope. You should, if you're still into it, or if you got any old decks, like I feel like that would be like a dope little stream now. But like, do you consider yourself a sports creator now? Like, I know you play UFC, you play 2K. Do you have any like kind of like
Yeah,
inspiration to play story games and stuff like that?
absolutely. Absolutely. Just talking about honestly the time you have to take to get like a build in 2K and how much money it costs, it's making me miss like the old days of gaming and just going through different games and not even worrying about like FOMO or leveling up or getting this reward. You would just go through and play the like I used to play the shit out of RuneScape, and I love me some like I want to get into maybe playing Fallout or things like that. I definitely don't want to put myself in the box of like just a sports streamer.
Hmm.
Those are always going to be my core at heart because I love sports. I love MMA. I love basketball, and I love football. I don't play football games as much, but Marvel Rivals, we played that last night actually off stream. Me and my boys ran that, and that was extremely fun. That's like the most fun I've had in a long time. I'm
Yeah, that
starting to learn what I'm doing.
game is so much fun.
So I don't want to put myself in a box, but that is my main like core games. Yes.
Okay, we got to run some rivals together.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm a Jeff the Shark main. But I also play I play Mr. Incredible, I play Punisher, I play Venom. I want to very badly learn the Incredible Hulk, but he's such a fucking hard character to learn. It's ridiculous. Now I'm geeking out on Marvel Rivals. I've just been in love with that game. I was like a big Overwatch kid, so like seeing Marvel come to like because Overwatch 2 was garbage. They just dropped the same exact game, but Marvel Rivals kind of gives you like a different feel of what Overwatch was, you know? Um so something I admire about you is like how you talk about mental health and you use your content to spread a positive message upon that. Did you uh, did you continue creating content to kind of like escape the struggles of everyday like mental struggles?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no question. I to also escape, but also give people like another platform or place to hang out where it's like, okay, this person's going through this as well, or this person's 26 and going through this. Like, I don't have my life together at all, and I'm openly about that. that's part of what I'm proud about myself is that I let people in on that and I'm transparent and I know I've helped people. Because I've had countless DMs like, yo, it's easy to talk to you. Like I don't know why I'm explaining this, but I never like usually open up like this, but I just wanted to say this and like people would just like tell me about their life at like 3 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've just been open about that stuff in my streams. And it's not always like pretty or beautiful. Like I've had bad streams before where I'm like low key like a mess. Like, but I mean, it's just you get through it together and people start to become comfortable. And that's the main reason I stream is to give people a kind of platform or a place to hang out and just be open about what they're going through. And the games are kind of a background, honestly. I
Yeah,
think the
no.
mental health aspect is honestly why I do it even more than like way more than I'm enjoying like UFC or 2K. I keep playing those games even when they're in shitty states to keep in touch with the community and give them a place to let their feelings out and whatever they need to do, man.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I feel like as a creator, not many people strive in that direction. A lot of people like don't have their DMs open, and like my Discord DMs are closed. And but listen, that's like Discord. I be getting the craziest shit sent to me.
Yeah.
My Twitter DMs are open. My Insta DMs are open, but Discord, I be getting shit that I don't want to see. So I'm like, just message me on Twitter if you gotta say something, right?
No,
So
that's fair.
so you had mentioned your dad. I lost my dad about 6 years ago, and I know yours was a little bit more recent. And as a young man, it's one of the hardest things to overcome. Can you talk about how you dealt with it and moved forward? And I when I say dealt with it, I know it's something you never get over. I miss my dad every fucking day. I know it's something I got pictures all over my desk of him. I know it's something you never get over. But can you kind of like discuss how you moved forward from that?
Yeah, honestly, like just knowing that he's in a better place in heaven, like you just got to keep going for him. And first of all, sorry about your loss. Trust me, I know how you feel.
I'm sorry about
It's
your loss too,
like you
brother.
said, you don't like he was like my best friend. Like I was extremely close with him, and
Yeah.
his cancer only took 3 weeks. Like I didn't get a chance to really even say bye or anything. It killed him in 3 weeks. So I still live with a lot of like honestly like guilt because when it at first I just remember laying on my bed and he hadn't been feeling good for like a year or two, but he was so tough that he was working while he had cancer, and he didn't get checked out till he was at stage 4. So when we finally got the call, he was already at stage 4, which pretty much means you're probably going to pass, which is like super unfortunate. And I didn't even know how to like process any of that. So I almost like hid in my room, like it was fake. Like I was literally too scared to almost go see him at the hospital. I saw him one time, and then he came because in my head I'm like, oh, he's gonna come home. He's gonna fight this through chemo. At least last like 6 months, but only took 2 or 3 weeks. He came home. He was already like his calf were like blowing up. They were like, I've never seen legs this big. It was like going down in his legs. And the last time I really got to talk or see him, I told him I got it, and I closed his eyes. Like I don't know if you've probably seen Endgame where Tony or when Spider comes up to Tony and he like
Yeah.
that's literally what I did to my dad and told him it's okay, I got it. And then I ended up getting a tattoo on me that says he was a drummer, so I got drumsticks and it says I promise and rest in peace, Dad. So I guess sorry I'm kind of yapping right now, but I
Nah,
guess
go
the
for it. Go for it.
whole point is that I just know he's up there looking. I pretty much I can't afford to lose like Money Moicano. I can't afford to let him down. Like honestly, I've I've made mistakes in the way because I've gone through things like I've gone through a lot of things even before then, and I think it was to shape me to get me ready for this.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because honestly, like I've went through some shit before, and I definitely did not do it the right way, like cope the right way. Like I've gone down my path of like honestly like substances and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
and I had to get right in the fact that he died and I haven't touched any of that or haven't gone any down the wrong roads or I've been in the gym and I've been doing stuff the right way definitely makes me like proud of myself and I'm just like open about all those things.
Yeah, yeah, no, no, absolutely. Like I talk about my dad all the time too. Like he was the man, and your dad sounded amazing, an absolute warrior. To work a full year with fucking cancer and then find out last minute you have it is crazy. I'm sorry, I'm getting emotional now, but
No,
so
I'm trying to. If this was not one, I definitely would probably be tearing
so
up. But I
I got the
yeah,
tissues on deck. I knew this was going to be tough. So you mentioned substance abuse, but it wasn't after he passed. It was beforehand. Can we
yeah,
kind of go through that a little bit if that's okay?
yeah. I mean, whatever you're okay with me sharing,
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely. Like,
completely. I
tell
just
me, the whole story, like how it started and like how you kind of like overcame that and got out of stuff. Because I know
what
putting down
I
substances is one of the hardest things. To be an addict is like you really
yeah.
want to have to. You really have to want to quit. You can't
hmm
just like show up to treatments and stuff. You have to want it.
So I graduated high school in 2017. I didn't drink, I didn't smoke. Like, um, I was a good kid. I three, not saying if you did that you were a bad kid or whatever, but I was like straight, like at like whatever, like. I graduated like a 3.2 GPA, and I ended up going to a part. I went to Ohio University. I don't know if you ever heard of the Ohio
Yeah.
Bobcats,
Yep. Yep.
Athens.
Yep.
It's like a part. I love that school. So I ended up going to college for a year there, and everything was going so good. My family was alive and healthy. I was doing good in college. We were partying on the weekends, but we were going to the gym during the week. Like we were playing ball. We were staying in shape. And I lost my friend, man. I lost one of my best friends.
I'm sorry.
Um,
I'm sorry for your loss. That's
it
brutal.
it was. I don't really want to talk about how honestly. I'll
You
talk
don't
about a
have
lot
to.
of things, but
Yeah, you don't
just
have to.
I basically I lost my friend, and I think I went through that to prepare to lose my dad. To be honest, um, at that time I was not. I was like, this is the end of the world. I kind of would start to be with the wrong crowd, and I was at this party one day, and this dude gave me like a pill or something, and he was like, "Hey, yo, like take this. This will get you out of your head." So I took it or whatever, and that's kind of where it started, man. And it was like Vicodin. It was painkillers and stuff, and it was always just to get out of my head. I just didn't want to think about losing my friend. I didn't. I ended up actually dropping out of college too, man. And it was tough. And you go from on top of the world to like feeling like nothing. And the moment, what actually got me to stop like going around, and it's not like I was doing it every single day or like I was still doing what I needed to do, and I don't think I was like on the point of like addiction, but it was getting to the point where it was ruining things and it was making me moody and things like that. It was making me lose weight. I remember I was down to like 145 pounds just off doing some painkillers. And that'll do that to you, man. Like they're that dangerous. Like
Hmm.
and that's kind of why I got into cannabis and helping people with that because it's such a better, safer like option. But anyways, so that happened, and I actually ended up. What made me stop is I ended up getting an OVI. Man, I was at a party and I was given like the same stuff. I don't even know what all I was given. I just didn't care at the time. I had just lost my friend. I had just dropped out of college. I just wanted to get out of my head. My head was constantly running. I just
Hmm.
wanted an off button. So I did a few things. I ended up falling asleep and like I tried to go home when I was already like sleepwalking. So I get behind the wheel and I basically wrecked, like hit a parked car. They almost made it back to, and I got arrested that night. Like, and it's
Hmm.
embarrassing. It changed. This was 5 years ago. Um, this was right before COVID hit, and I got arrested. I got an OVI. I wasn't drinking. I was just
Just on
literally
weed.
like, yeah,
Hmm.
drugs. Which is like, and then you got it. The whole town finds out. I live in like a small town, so all the people I went to school with, they're like, "Oh my gosh, how could Chase, who was an honor roll student, you know what I'm saying? How could this happen to him?"
Hmm.
So and I remember being so like down and depressed for a long time. And this is when my dad was still alive, and like I finally stopped when I had to go through the classes and all that. So I stopped doing all that. And I thank God for it. It was God stopping me, you know what I'm saying? It was God stopping me.
Hmm.
And we get to the point where I lose my dad, and it's almost like a flip. It like switch like it just flipped the switch, you know. Like I knew I couldn't do this anymore. I knew I couldn't go down that road because if I lose him and then I'm still doing all these bad things, and that just makes me, I mean, I gotta have some shame. Um, and it just, I think that prepared. I know I did a lot of yapping, but I think that prepared me losing my friend and using substances to get out of my head prepared me for the bigger challenge, which was losing my dad, and to not do it that way this time. So I
Hmm.
knew not to go down that path this time, I guess is what I'm really trying to get at. So I'm still thankful for that. And it's embarrassing to talk about. I don't necessarily like it, but it's necessary. And it's part of the reason my platform is how it is and why I think people are open with talking to me about a lot of different things.
Yeah, I appreciate you talking about it, and you had mentioned God, so I'm gonna assume that you are a religious person, and
Yeah.
God does give his toughest battles to his stronger soldiers, and it took me the longest fucking time to find God. It took me a long, long, long time to really just to talk to him. Like I used to ask like if God's real, why does this shit keep happening to me? Especially when my dad passed, and it took me until I didn't find him until last year. I'm 27, and I found him around 26, and it really took me until this year to get really like I pray a lot, I talk to God a lot. I talk to my dad a lot too. Like that's something that I'll just like start talking and just I know he's there listening. But that's something that really took me a long time to understand, and like you wouldn't be getting these challenges if God didn't trust you with it.
Yeah, I think he was preparing me, like I said, and like I
Hmm.
said, sorry you went through all that, man. We definitely relate there because I understand your pain, bro.
For sure. Like I was getting emotional just you talking about it because I had a little bit of a different path. I was more drinking. Especially when my dad passed, I would go out every single night. I'd be in the bar on a Monday night just like getting cocked and then going to work the next morning, and I was a waiter and a bartender, so I was always around that shit. And I'd use all of my tips from that day on the bar night. Like we have a good night in tips. Oh, we're getting fucked up tonight, and like I still drink a little bit, but I it's not like that as to where like now I'm just doing it to just like I'll have one or two while I'm out with the boys or like at a bar. But when I was really going through that dark path, it really took me a while to pull myself out of it, and I don't even know what it was that really did pull me out of it. I because I didn't find content until about I was always into content, but I didn't get heavily involved, especially into streaming and YouTube videos until like COVID 2020 and like around that time. Um, okay, I'm sorry we got so deep. I'm sorry
No,
we got so
you're
deep.
good.
So
Actually, but Twitch is what, and I didn't really mention it, but Twitch in the community is what kept me also alive and going and not going to substances and stuff, like having the family in the community. So that's also like super important. Having
yeah,
that.
you have a reason to be here. Like you have a place on this planet, and it's like it's allowing yourself to open up and letting other people open up to you, and having these conversations. Like they're tough discussions, but they're needed to have, especially as a man in this day and age, because we weren't real like I know I wasn't really raised to like express my emotions. I was raised that like you gotta put your man face on. You gotta get to work every day, and you gotta put your boots on. You gotta go crazy, and like now I express my emotions. Like some be like, oh, you a little bitch, but I'm like, no, 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 no. That a real man expresses his emotions. Like that's what a real man is in
No,
now today and
and
age.
you still do what you got to do and put your boots on when you need to and do what you know what I'm saying. It's not like like you just have your emotional side too, and
It,
that's a good thing. Like,
it's a good thing to have that emotional side. It really, really is. So this is gonna be kind of towards the end now. And your name's True Cavalier. That's all your streaming names, all your platform names. Are you a
yep.
Cavs fan?
Oh yeah. So it's funny. I've had this name since 2012. I don't know if you remember Two Chains doing the True, the
Yeah.
TRU. So that's where the true came from. And my high school was the Cavaliers as well. And I live in
Okay.
Ohio. I've
Yeah,
always been
yeah.
a Cavaliers fan as well. So it
Hmm.
was like true Cavalier. Like like I made that when I was going to the Cavaliers school. Like, and I was also a Cavs fan. I've been a Cavs fan for 15, 20 years of my life. I've went to Cavs games with my dad and stuff. And yes, even when LeBron left, I didn't bandwagon when
Oh
we were
gosh,
really
I should.
bad. When we were really bad, I was watching them.
my
Watch them
my.
without Braun.
I was actually gonna ask like how did it feel LeBron left y'all twice like
It
not
was tough.
once like at least he brought a ship though that must have been incredible
That's why the no, it was like the best. I'll never forget. I was at a B Dubs in 20 yeah, 2016,
when Kyrie hit the shot
2017.
everybody
Yeah.
knows where they were when Kyrie hit that shot.
Yeah, I was at a B Dubs with people and we're in Ohio, so like there was a bunch of people in there drunk Cavs fans and that everyone was just going wild, man. I'll never forget that like atmosphere. Like my heart was racing that entire game. A game 7, I'll never like wish that upon any of you guys. Watching your team in a game 7 of the NBA finals is like because it's even different than like the super because I don't know, man. Just game 7's the fact that it's the end. It's the end of the series, no matter what. It's tied up 3-3, and it's for like literally the whole thing. It's crazy. Game
Yeah,
sevens are insane.
game sevens are insane. I'm a big Celtics fan, so I did have to recently. I mean, I remember watching the older series wins when I was younger, like with Paul Pierce, KG, and Ray Allen. But I was so young that I didn't really like understand the sport like I do now. And like watching us lose to the Warriors was brutal. But then last year when we beat the Mavs, I was like, I'm so happy this isn't close. Like I'm so happy this is not close because if it was
Dude,
close, it
it's
would be bad.
you guys are so good. You guys can switch all. You're so good on defense, and you can just make every shot and ISO people and 5 out and switch all. It's just crazy.
Yeah, it's funny because I just moved to Philadelphia from Rhode Island, so I'm surrounded by 76ers fans, and a 76ers fan literally told me yesterday. He was like, "Oh, you lucky fucker." But being a Celtics fan, he was I'm cursed. They told me 10 years ago trust the process. 10 fucking years ago. Like he was like freaking the fuck out.
Yeah, they've been banged up with injuries, man. Banged up.
So
So that's part of the game, though.
it is part of the game. Absolutely. Injuries are in every sport, unfortunately. Like we just saw what happened with Armin yesterday. Like his back's cooked and now he
Ah,
goes out and
man.
goes in it.
Oh man.
So what would you call your favorite sport? Would it be basketball? I know you're heavily into MMA. I see the UFC hat. Is that Steamroller that signed that?
Yes, it is. That's Matt Favola. That he was such a cool dude, man. I met him at the UFC Atlantic City. The card where Weidman fought Bruno Silva. He
Okay.
came back and Weidman's walkout was so cool because he was doing the I forget what he walked out to, but it was one of those like American songs, and it's just
Yeah.
Weidman at his hometown. But anyways, yeah, Favola was cool. Um, my favorite sport, it's transition now. It's MMA, man. Basketball's
Okay.
second, but it's close. It's like 50-50, but it's like 51-49 MMA. Like I love the Saturday cards. Like I'll watch them all. Like and I've been doing that since like 2021, 2020, like watching all the prelims. And I've been a fan since before then. I just didn't catch like everything like I do now. Like I watch the early prelims and everything.
Yeah, I've fallen off a little bit. Like I will I call myself a casual now as a joke because like I don't really like watch all of the free cards and like if there's a big main event like I'll probably just watch the main card. I'm not gonna hold you. If there's something crazy on the prelims, I'm gonna see it on Twitter. So like and I but I also wake up so early on Sunday mornings to go to work. So like I don't really like have the ability to watch these fucking cards that stay up till 1. I do love the cards that are in different countries though. I know Americans hate it, but I actually love them because like 3 p.m. fights, say less. Fucking toss it up on the other monitor while I'm doing a stream and just like it's so easy to watch every fight when they're early.
I love those. I wonder, is the Saudi Arabia card going to be probably something a little different?
Most likely,
That's what the card is with like Venom Page and Char Bullet, right? When
yeah.
Izzy and yeah.
Yep.
That's
I believe that'll probably be a little bit earlier card, but Dana's been doing this weird shit where like no matter where they fucking are, they just like do Eastern time. Like they were like when they went to the UK for Leon versus Bilal, they were like the UK people in the crowd were like falling asleep because it was 5 a.m. for them.
yeah, that's nuts. Fine, Dana, that's diabolical to do that to them.
That's fucking diabolical, Dana. Like, come on.
You see,
Uh,
Leon is gonna get Jack Della. I
I
think in
I like hate him in the sport. He like his content so like it's not MMA content. I don't know how he got to like being with like all these UFC fighters and like stuff like that. It's diabolical what his stream that he just
oh
had
Neon.
Tracy.
Talking
Yes.
about Neon. Oh, I said no, Leon. Leon is scheduled versus. Yeah, I completely
Oh.
agree with you though. But Leon just got announced versus Jack Della. So I didn't know
Oh.
if you had
Oh.
Jack Della
Oh.
Maddalena.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought you said that Neon was gonna do a
No,
stream with
Leon. Sorry,
Jack.
that's what I meant.
Okay. I was about to say that's fucking bad idea. No, Leon. See, the thing about me with Leon Edwards is like, I'm like not a massive Leon Edwards fan, and I don't realistically believe anybody else is either because nobody gave a fuck until he won the belt.
Well, he doesn't
Now,
really talk or he doesn't do anything like when
yeah,
he's in the off season or when he's not fighting. You just don't know where he's at, what he's
he
up to.
he keeps to himself, and like not every fighter is like gonna be like Conor McGregor or Izzy and like talk their shit, but like at least give me Tom Aspinall vibes and like or Dustin Poirier vibes where like you're just a lovable character. Like
I love some Dustin.
yeah, I like Dustin too. I have a couple friends that hate Dustin Poirier, and I think it's hilarious because I'll always bring him up. I'll be like, Dustin will be champion one day, and they're like, Dustin's done. No. He's got there's a chance, brother. There's a chance. He goes up to welterweight. He beaten Bilal.
Yeah,
But
he Dustin has a lot of like haters for some weird reason, just
he
randomly.
does. People
It's
hate
funny.
Dustin for no reason. I'll never get it. But thank you so much for coming on, brother. If you want to shout out any socials, any big events you got coming up, that now's the time to do so, my guy.
Ah man, just follow me on Twitch, man. True Cavalier, TRU Cavalier. We be going live every day, usually in the morning, but I try to do some double streams. Like we're gonna try to do a little bit more variety, like Marvel Rivals and things of that nature. So
Mhm.
even if you're not a 2K fan, hop in here, say what's up. I'm not really making content anywhere else at the moment, but come say what's up in the stream. Shout out to Swaggy for bringing me on, man. Shout out to everybody, man. It's been a good year so far.
Absolutely, and it's gonna keep being a good year. 2025 is a big year for all of us. Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you so much for watching the Swagcast every single week. You know where to find us on YouTube every single Wednesday. I love y'all. We'll see y'all next week. Peace.